on the offensive end now, or the defensive end rather, have got to play tough man-to-man pressure and screen off. The last series, Rhett was able to get position away from Nelson Stewart. Now, Nelson's done a nice job tonight, but for a few times this evening, he's able to give up position inside to Rhett. You can't allow second shots to a good basketball club at this point of the game. You know what, Lee? JoJo English has been absent from the offensive flow for South Carolina. I'd say the last couple of trips down the court. Aztecs.
2 minutes to go in the game. Carolina basketball. They get it inbounds to Barry Manning. Manning gets it to English, played by Ray Bearfield. Top side it goes to Lesso. Swings it left to Barry Manning, guarded by Virgil Smith. Into the corner to Watson, back to Rhett against a tough defense. Rhett feeds it right of the lane to JoJo English. They're trying to clear out. He may be trying to drive, gets it to Lesso. Lesso, one bounce, comes into the lane. He's in the lane all week. They don't call it. Here's Rhett with a jumper, no good, and Virgil Smith with the rebound. A minute and a half to go in the game. 45 seconds to go on the shot clock. Work to the corner, back to Tony Clark. Now Watson comes out to get Clark. Feeds it right side to Bearfield. Head of the lane, out of Virgil Smith. Drifts left into the corner to Stewart. Here's Nelson Stewart to Tony Clark. Long three-pointer, in and out of the rim. It was in the cylinder, it spun out. Carolina basketball, a minute 5 to go in the game, and we're knotted at 54 apiece. Good. Manning left to English, baseline jumper, shot no good. Rebound, Lesso in traffic, and he puts in the uncontested rebound and layup and in.
Well, McNall went for the blocked shot, and what happened is that took him out of position for the rebound, left Nelson Stewart inside.
Boy, it's been a doozy here tonight. Monty Montezuma and friends having a good time. San Diego State trailing high-powered South Carolina 56-54. 2 points of Carolina with a half minute to go in the game.
Look for some picks. Look for some picks in this out-of-bounds play. They're going to try to set some picks away from the basketball and free up Clark.
Courtney Miller inbounds it to Virgil Smith. Goes right side now to Nelson Stewart. Stewart tried to get it to Courtney Miller. Scramble for the ball. McNall saves it. Feeds it down underneath to Tony Clark. We're going to get a whistle against Carolina. Here comes Clark to the stripe. Tony 4 for 4 tonight. Shooting the bonus. First one. Good. He'll get another. Tony Clark 18 points off the bench tonight. Boy, has the personality of this basketball team changed in a week.
It's changed in 2 days since he entered the game last night with 12-12 in the first half against Florida A&M.
Second free throw, he hits it. We're a tied basketball game, so now they got to play defense and a full court press. Inbounds, the ball comes up the floor.
That's key.
It's been a great game. You know, Brad, we're looking towards early January with the opening of Western Athletic Conference play. I think the general consensus was that Utah was the team to beat, but I'm not so sure anymore. Now the fact that Josh Grant is going to be redshirted the entire year at Utah. He was, of course, their great leading scorer. BYU is off to a fabulous 7-0 start. Of course, they've been playing lesser schedule people like Weber State, and they don't have the big 7'6" center Sean Bradley. And you got to wonder now about San Diego State all of a sudden with the fact that they're showing such a different style of play since the arrival of Tony Clark.
Well, it's a good-looking basketball team at times, and then other times they show the tendency to shoot themselves in the foot. But these are the types of games that will make this team better. Yes, the schedule's been tough, but they've been hanging tough with a tough team tonight in South Carolina.
Everybody up in the seats, extolling the Aztecs to play some defense. Joe Rhett will inbounds it, gets it to Barry Manning with 15 seconds to go in the game. Manning, played by Virgil Smith, coming left. Goes to the far sideline. They're trying to find Rhett. Manning, long jumper, no good. Tipped up, no good. Rebound, Watson, jumper, no good. McNall's got the rebound. It's loose on the baseline, and we're going to overtime, I believe. Rhett gets his own rebound, puts it up. Good. Boy, it wasn't artistic, but it fell, and that's all that counts. Virgil Clark. Tony Clark tries to get it up the floor. It's batted out of his hands and taken right back by Carolina. Jamie Watson across the floor. Long jumper. Manning, no good, and it goes out of bounds. Terrible, and McNall throws it away. Tried to get it to Courtney Miller and missed him. Back comes Barry Manning. Length of the floor drive down the baseline. Now pulls it back out. Now spins into the lane. Baseline jumper again, and this time Barry Manning hits it and ties the game. Left side, Tony Clark pulls the trigger, jumper, no good, and nobody there to rebound, and English has got it. Aztecs not going to the glass.
Got to know when to shoot that shot and when to run a little bit of time off. Here in overtime, that's not the high percentage shot.
Manning walks it up the floor, right side. Trying to get it into Lesso, gives it to English, jumper, baseline, good. At the foul line, pulled up and pulled the trigger, and JoJo English hits it. He's got 22. And Clark fakes the drive, backs off, gives it to Miller, baseline drive, pulls up, and he gets fouled. The ball did not fall for him. Boy, this
builds confidence for a young team.
Cordy Miller hits the free throw, and he cuts the lead to 1. 2-20. Try to tie the game again. 2:25 to go in OT. Second shot. Rolls off, no good. Fairfield, now to Virgil Smith, to Cordy Miller, in traffic, into the lane, banks it off, no good, but we're going to get a whistle. We're going to get a foul down the lane. Boy, back to English.
Look at
English
Rhett.
trying to get it into Rhett, having trouble, feet pass to Rhett. Rhett spins into the lane, loses the ball, and the Aztecs got it. Up the floor, Virgil Smith. Let's see what they do with it this time. Smith under pressure, struggling. Smith feeds it, and we're going to get a whistle, and the Aztecs, I think, are going to call a timeout. 62 Aztecs. He misses the first one. Ray, senior from Columbia, he hit that one, so we're tied again. He's got 21 on the night. They held South Carolina to 1 basket in the final 6 minutes and 56 seconds of the first half, Fred. And since that point in time, the final 6:56 and this entire second half and into this overtime, they have just been playing nose to nose with the high-powered South Carolina Gamecocks.
And you also have to look at what Tony Clark has meant to this basketball team for San Diego State. Not only offensively, defensively, but every time out he's in the middle giving guys encouragement. He's been getting in guys' faces. He's just the type of player that brings leadership that has been missing from this basketball club. And
Fairfield starts the drive into the lane, spins off, can't get the shot, gets it to Stewart. Back to Bearfield. Bearfield to Virgil Smith. 5 seconds to go. Virgil Smith into the corner to Bearfield. Jumper, puts it up. No, it's tipped up and in, but I think they're going to wave it off. Joe McNall, fadeaway jumper McNall, no good. Rebound, Nelson Stewart in traffic, turns, lays it up around, no good. Scramble for the rebound, and Carolina comes away with a basketball. Joe Rhett, they've really denied Rhett the basketball in the latter stages of this game. We're in the second overtime, tied at 63. Low post, it comes to Rhett. Rhett spins into the lane, loses the ball. We're going to get a foul. I think takes the shot, now puts it up and in. It spins around and finally drops back in. It was in the cylinder, spun around, came out, and then went back in, and Virgil Smith gets the basket. They'll walk it back out, 1.5 minutes to go in the second overtime, and the Aztecs lead by 1. Here's McCoy, finds the seam, down the lane, lays it up and in, and Cordy Miller fouled him on the way to the hoop. 7 seconds to go in the game. Timeout. Gamecocks lead the Aztecs 69-67. Virgil Smith trying to get a pick, spins to the right, into the lane, reverse pivot, puts it up, tough shot, no good. McNall rebound, puts it up, around, good. McNall muscles it up with a half minute to go, and we're tied at 69. McNall's got 13. Deep in the backcourt, starts the drive, played by Virgil Smith, feeds it down to Rhett. Rhett turns, jumper up, good. 9 seconds to go. Up the floor, Rhett hits the basket. Terrence Hamilton against pressure, gets it to McCall, down the floor. Here's a shot, up, no good, and we get a whistle, and we get an offensive foul on Nelson Stewart. They got the ball down the floor. Nelson turned to try to spin into the lane, and as he did, there was a collision, and San Diego State is going to lose the game with 1 second to go on the Nelson Stewart offensive foul. The problem is the wrong guys had the ball in the backcourt for San Diego State.
Probably just fouled.
Well, Rhett tries to throw it in bounds. Cordy Miller knocks it out. No time off the clock, so that was a long 1 second. Inbounds pass, length of the floor, tipped, and that's the basketball game. So South Carolina has beaten San Diego State in double overtime here tonight by the score of 71-69 in the championship game of the Texaco Star Classic. As we went to double overtime here tonight, and San Diego State had a couple of golden opportunities to climb in this basketball game and put it away. Jim Brandenburg is joining us down here on the sidelines at midcourt. Got to be happy with the way his team played, even if they did not win it. Here's Brad Sesmat with the coach.
Double overtime, your team comes so close, ends up just short. Some questionable calls at the end of the game, but your team hung tough.
Well, I was pleased that we competed. We still do not have the coordination that we need. We're still trying to find ourselves and find our personality. But we competed against a pretty good basketball team. A couple of calls that I couldn't fathom at the end, cost us dearly. But I was proud of our guys, and I was proud of our effort.